but I hope JDM absolutely punches his little head in. Yeah, I hope JDM batters him. And if he can keep it on the feet, then he will absolutely batter him, and I hope he does. Islam was chatting pony the other day.
Not Paddy for sure. Paddy beat who? Like Tony Ferguson, who else he beat? Everybody beat Chandler. Nobody checked Paddy before.
Absolutely smash his face in for him. I can see me beating him anywhere the fight goes, to be honest.
I'd love to hear it from him. He earned this the hard way. He cleaned out a division, maybe the hardest division in the sport. He's moved to another division. This is what it's all about. And not to mention, it's something he will never discuss. But if you don't always want to be the heir apparent to King Khabib's throne, you gotta do something that Khabib didn't do. And this is his opportunity. And I know inside that's not his motivation.
Paddy Pimblett just responded to Islam Makhachev dissing him in a recent interview. Paddy was not happy with Islam for questioning his resume and ruling him out of a lightweight title fight with Ilia Topuria. Paddy clearly expressed his frustration and mocked Islam Makhachev for moving up to 170. Paddy Pimblett also backed Jack Della Maddalena to beat Islam Makhachev and taunted Islam to move back down to lightweight. Pimblett believes JDM's boxing would control the fight on the fate and thinks he'd outstrike him. He dismissed Islam's recent boasts about who he's beaten and challenged him directly, saying if Islam returns to 155, Paddy would deal with him personally.
Don't know how I see it playing out, but I hope JDM absolutely punches his little head in. Yeah, I hope JDM batters him. I think JDM's a much better boxer, and if he can keep it on the feet, then he will absolutely batter him, and I hope he does. Islam was chatting pony the other day, saying who have I beat when he got a title shot at lightweight off beating Bobby Green, someone who I beat faster than you little bum. So how about that one, Islam? Get back down to lightweight and I'll punch your head in as well.
Islam Makhachev recently laughed off the idea of Paddy Pimblett earning a title shot against Ilia Topuria, questioning what Pimblett had done to deserve it. He said beating Michael Chandler doesn't prove much since others have already done it, and argued that Pimblett hasn't faced any top-tier opponents. Makhachev added that a matchup between Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan makes much more sense, as Arman has proven skills in all areas, whereas Paddy wouldn't present any real threat to the champion.
And now I don't know who's gonna be next for Ilia.
Kind of feels like Paddy is sort of the most likely one. It's a vision.
Oh man, maybe Arman, maybe Gaethje, but not Paddy for sure.
How come?
Man, I don't know who. Paddy beat who? Like Tony Ferguson, who else he beat?
Michael Chandler.
Everybody beat Chandler. I don't know, maybe. Honestly, it's not big challenge for Topuria. If he beat Arman, it's like, it's, you know, very like, because Arman have good skills, striking, wrestling, grappling. He's a like good fighter, but Paddy, nobody checked Paddy before.
However, Paddy Pimblett is very keen to fight Ilia Topuria and is pushing to make that fight happen with his trash talk. Paddy insisted he would dismantle Topuria inside the cage, said he could win whether it stayed standing or went to the mat, and vowed to prove the champion was overrated.
I think most people would love to see you inside the cage with Ilia Topuria. How would you get the job done against Ilia?
Absolutely smash his face in for him. I can see me beating him anywhere the fight goes, to be honest. People have put him on a pedestal now. They think he's this big amazing thing, when I'll bring him crashing back down to earth in a big way.
Paddy Pimblett continued his verbal attack on Ilia Topuria, urging him to sign the contract and face him. He claimed Topuria only became famous because of him and accused the champion of being fake, saying his followers were bought and his persona copied from Conor McGregor. Pimblett also mocked Topuria's nationality, arguing that since he was born in Germany, he shouldn't call himself Spanish or Georgian.
I will inflict pain on his life. He wouldn't come out of that fight looking the same. I'd hit him with that many elbows. Is this going out to Spanish media? Step up, Ilia. Stop being a chorizo, be a man. You know, no one would know who Ilia Topuria was if it wasn't for me. He made himself famous off the back of my name. He wouldn't even be a champ now if it wasn't for him jumping on my coattails. And now he thinks he's too good to fight me. He wouldn't be where you are without me. The Bernabeu's a nice stadium, know what I mean? But to me, because it's his backyard, it's a shithole. That's like a metaphor, it's like what we say. I will come to the Bernabeu and I will punch his face in on the pitch, and then I'll batter half the team if I need to. But I'm taking the belt home, because he's not a Madrid fan. He's not even from Madrid. He's not even from Spain. He's from Benidorm, so he's not a Madrid fan. He just jumped on the coattails to get more fans and more followers. He's fake. He's so fake, like half of his followers, where it's been proven half his followers on Instagram. He's the fakest person ever. He's just a McGregor copycat, and I'm getting sick of him. He's a German. He's not even Spanish, he's not even Georgian, he was born in Germany, he's German.
On the other hand, Chilton reflects on Islam Makhachev's move to welterweight, suggesting it marks the start of his own legacy beyond Khabib Nurmagomedov's shadow. He explains that while Islam may never admit it, this move gives him the chance to achieve something Khabib never did. Sodin adds that years from now, Islam's grandkids will look back at his career and recognize this as the moment he stepped out and created a legacy of his own.
I'd love to hear it for him. He earned this the hard way. He cleaned out a division, maybe the hardest division in the sport. He's moved to another division. This is what it's all about. And not to mention, it's something he will never discuss. But if you don't always want to be the heir apparent to King Khabib's throne, you got to do something that Khabib didn't do. And this is his opportunity. And I know inside that's not his motivation. He is not trying to show up Khabib. But I am just suggesting at some point his grandkids are going to look back on his career and they will now have something they can turn to that is different than Uncle Khabib.
Yeah, he said that the other day. Somebody asked him, like, well, it doesn't matter for you. He goes, what a stupid question. He goes, Khabib's my brother. He goes, I don't want to do anything better than him. He goes, we do this together, but this is for my legacy. And right now, Islam's on the verge of legacy.
Meanwhile, Ali Abdelaziz gave an update on Islam Makhachev ahead of his fight with Jack Della Maddalena, saying fans are about to see the best version of the lightweight champion yet. He claimed that if the current Makhachev faced his past self, he would finish him in the first round. According to Abdelaziz, Islam is now bigger, stronger, and healthier than ever, no longer dealing with weight cut issues and making every opponent look like an amateur.
Spending some time around Islam, how is he looking going into this fight now that we're so close to his welterweight debut? What does a welterweight Islam Makhachev look like in the training room?
He's the best Islam. If Islam right now fought the old Islam, we beat him in the first round. He's big, he's strong, he's healthy, he's happy, he's not suffering cutting weight, and he's very, very strong. He make everyone feel like an amateur.
Nick Barnhill described the matchup between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena as intriguing, emphasizing that Jack brings a different style and size than most of Islam's past opponents. He acknowledged Makhachev as one of the most well-rounded fighters in the sport, but noted that the fight is interesting because Islam has historically struggled against opponents with long range and precise striking.
From a technical side, this fight is intriguing because what we're seeing out of Jack Della Maddalena is a totally different style of fighting and body type than what we've seen Islam compete against at 155. Yeah. Now, Jack is a very high level striker, and we've seen him have a ton of success at 170 against other great strikers and grapplers, but nobody at Islam Makhachev's level. Now, skill for skill, most people still have Islam Makhachev as the most well-rounded fighter in the UFC. But this style versus style is very intriguing because Islam has had trouble against rangy strikers, people who can extend their punches and find his target at the end of his strikes.
Nick Barnhill pointed out that Jack Della Maddalena will bring plenty of offense into the fight, but how it plays out will depend largely on Islam Makhachev's strategy. He explained that unlike fighters who abandon their grappling once they find success on the fade, Makhachev is expected to stay true to his roots, forcing on takedowns, submissions, and ground and pound. Barnhill added that Islam will still use his striking effectively, maintaining distance with precise shots and kicks similar to his approach in the second Volkanovski fight.
Fight camp is going to dictate where this fight takes place. Islam is not like most guys where once they start finding knockouts or once they start having a lot of success with their feet, they wind up becoming knockout artists. Islam still knows his best way to win this fight is by taking Jack to the ground and cooking him and then basically finding a submission or some ground and pound. I don't see Islam going out there trying to just strike with the high-level striker, but I also don't see him selling out for a takedown. I think Islam's going to go out there and be measured the way we saw him against Volk in the second fight. He's going to stay on the outside. He's going to look to strike and throw some kicks.
Earlier, Nick Barnhill suggested that Jack Della Maddalena style could be the first real challenge Islam Makhachev faces in the UFC. He explained that Islam's dominance at lightweight is often underappreciated, not because of any shortcomings, but because Khabib Nurmagomedov set an almost unreachable standard before him. Barnhill also pointed out that Makhachev's title reign has been affected by constant opponent changes and short-notice fights, which have made his run seem less remarkable than it truly is.
I really think that Jack Della Maddalena has the perfect style to combat Islam, and moreover give us what we've wanted out of an Islam Makhachev fight for years now, which is a competitive fight.
Yeah.
Islam, it was really unfortunate for him because his entire legacy as 155 champion is a bit tarnished, and it's not from anything he did, but because of our expectations and how good he is and the footprint that Khabib laid and then he had to follow, it felt very quickly that once he got the belt, there was a big gap in skill between him and everybody else. And then with a couple things like fallouts happening, Arman Sarukian, you know, pulling out like a day before the event, him having to fight Renato Moicano instead, all of those types of things made Islam's career at 155 feel diminished and not as epic as it truly was. So this to me is exactly where Islam needed to go with his career if he wanted to get the respect and the legacy that he's been trying to build since he, you know, had dreams of the UFC.
On the other hand, MMA Guru jokingly expressed his deep-rooted dislike for Dagestani fighters, painting a chaotic and humorous picture of Jack Della Maddalena stopping Islam Makhachev with vicious body shots as the entire arena erupts in chaos. His over-the-top storytelling was clearly tongue-in-cheek, reflecting his playful bias and serving purely as comedic entertainment rather than serious analysis.
JDM, body shots against the cage, TKO's Makhachev, he shits his pants, Khabib slips over in it, crying in the corner, like that, and then Khabib gets angry, he stops crying and he gets angry, and then all of a sudden he's climbing the cage like something overcomes him to attack JDM from behind. He sucker punches JDM from behind, and JDM just turns around and just starts fucking laying into him with combos, dude. And then Khabib gets slept on the ground as well. And no one steps in because he just attacked JDM, you know what I mean? It's not like a part of the thing, so it's not the referee's job to step in there. So JDM just fucking raining down elbows like he was doing to Gilbert Burns. And then Makhachev wakes back up. Umar, help! Umar, help! Umar jumps in, and then the referee pushes Umar off the steps as he's trying to climb into the cage. And Umar slips over into the cage. And then everyone smells Umar in the crowd, and then everyone says, pushes him over, and then people start whacking him with chairs, splashing their drinks on him. And then the police say, what's the fucking problem here? The security guards come in, are any fucking problems going on around here? Who's causing this fucking ruckus? Everyone points, him, this goblin.
Furthermore, Usman Nurmagomedov expects that Islam Makhachev will take Jack Della Maddalena down, exhaust him, and control the fight from the top. He noted that while everyone knows Islam's strategy, no opponent has managed to prevent it. Usman added that Islam's pursuit of a second title has motivated the entire team, as it represents a milestone their gym has yet to achieve.
How do you think Islam does against JDM?
You're gonna take him down, make him tired, hold him there, and after that, if you can finish him, if you can, by decision, you have to win. All people know what we're gonna do, but they can do nothing with that. And we're so excited for him because of two-time champion. In our gym, we don't have this guy, but Islam gonna be, inshallah.
Bilal Muhammad believes Islam Makhachev has the skill to dominate and finish Jack Della Maddalena on the ground. He explains that fighters who haven't experienced Dagestani wrestling are usually overwhelmed by its pressure and pace. Bilal adds that Islam's grappling is on a completely different level, and that Jack still leaves too many openings once the fight hits the mat.
I mean, I think my mindset, I think Islam can finish him on the ground for sure. And especially it's like we saw it with DDP. If you never felt one of those Dagestani style wrestlers, like you don't want it to be your first time in the cage feeling it. And Islam and them, they have a different feel. They have a different type of grappling. So for JDM, even in our fight, he makes mistakes on the ground. He does a lot of stuff.
Moreover, Demetrius Johnson claims that Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena could go in two directions, either very exciting or extremely dull. He praised Della Maddalena for stepping up to the challenge and noted that the size difference between the two seems minimal. Johnson pointed out that JDM is preparing with Craig Jones and Alexander Volkanovski to handle Dagestani wrestling. He explained that if Islam controls the fight on the ground, it could slow down, but if JDM stuffs the takedowns, fans might see a war.
It turned out to be a banger fight. For him to take on a guy like Islam Makhachev, not steering away from that challenge. Islam is coming up, so he's going to be, I feel like comparably size-wise, they're going to be about even, Islam's super good. JDM's got Craig Jones in the camp to, battle.
And Volkanovski.
To battle that, Dagestan wrestling. It's going to be, it could be two things. It could be a very, very boring fight, or it could be a very, very exciting fight. Meaning by the way it could be boring is if Islam's able to take down JDM and get his back, hold him there, out grapple him, stifle him. He could potentially do that.
Demetrius Johnson emphasizes Jack Della Maddalena's relentless mindset, noting that he never accepts bad positions and constantly works to escape. He points to the Gilbert Burns fight where JDM keeps trying to stand up and attack even after being taken down. Johnson praises his persistence and strong anti-wrestling skills, calling them key factors that make this matchup so compelling. He adds that JDM's precise boxing adds another layer to the fight, making it a rare and high-level clash between elite fighters from 155 and 170 pounds.
The one thing I love about JDM when he fights is he never accepts the position. When he was fighting Gilbert Burns, great grappler, takes him down. Right when he gets up, he throws that knee into the void. Gilbert Burns ducks down into it. He runs into it. JDM doesn't accept the position when he gets taken down. He's always looking to grapple, always looking to anti-wrestle. That's what makes this fight exciting. And he's got some fucking good hands. He's not the way his boxing is, he's very tight. I'm excited for that fight just because we're seeing the best at 155 take on the best at 170. It's very rare when the moons align.
Meanwhile, Henry Cejudo predicts Islam Makhachev will completely dominate Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 322. He questions why anyone believes Jack can compete with Islam, insisting Makhachev is superior in every area. Cejudo expects the fight to be entirely one-sided in Islam's favor.
Explain to me why he's better or why he's going to give Islam a good fight. I just don't see it. Striking, grappling, submissions, takedown defense, takedowns. I see total dominance from my brother, Islam Makhachev.
Kamaru Usman agrees that Islam Makhachev holds the advantage, but doesn't see the fight as an easy one. He notes Jack Della Maddalena's rapid improvement and strong resilience in recent performances. Usman believes the matchup will be competitive, though he admits that if anyone can make it look effortless, it's Islam.
I want Islam to win, but it's not going to be that easy. Jack has just gotten exponentially better in such a short time. I've watched him in a couple of fights. Spirit was never broke. It's going to be difficult, but if someone can make it look straight up easy, Islam possesses the skills.
I'm hearing through the grapevines too that Islam Makhachev, he doesn't have that too many fights in his career. Remember, dude, Khabib Nurmagomedov retired young, bro. These guys will follow suit. You know why? They train like freaking maniacs. They train hard, bro. There's something different with Russians. They love leaving on top.
Kamaru Usman thinks the fight between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena is more intriguing than many expect. He praises Jack's steady improvement and acknowledges Islam's dominance in all areas. Usman notes that while fans initially viewed the matchup as one-sided, he now sees it as a potentially close and entertaining contest.
Islam versus JDM in the MSG. How do you think it will play out?
It's a very, very intriguing fight. JDM is growing at a rapid pace, and we all know what Islam possesses, and we know how good Islam is. So I'm intrigued about that fight. I don't think, because I feel like some people are kind of, initially when that fight was being announced, people were like, oh, this Islam's gonna do this, Islam's gonna take care of him, or JDM's too big. I think now we're starting to understand that that fight's going to be a lot closer than we think.
And Gary believes that in the Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena fight, Jack likely controls the striking exchanges. But the key challenge lies in defending takedowns at UFC 322. He emphasizes Islam's elite grappling and lifelong training, noting that while Jack can find success on the fade, consistently stopping takedowns over 5 rounds will decide the outcome.
The fight for me really is when Islam grabs a hold of Jack, how good has Jack improved? Because Islam is world class at that and has been for probably his entire life because of the way he trains and where he has come from. So can Jack stop that consistently like he did against Belal? Because he did a phenomenal job against Belal at stopping that. But can he do that against someone who's just cleaner, more technical? On the feet, I think Jack wins it cleanly. I think he'll jab, switching stances. He'll have a bit more fluidity due to the fact that Islam's not going to be changing stances so regularly. So I think Jack can do it on the feet, but the question mark is, can he stop? the takedown consistently over 5 rounds.
Meanwhile, Ian Machado Gary is set to face Belal Muhammad at UFC Qatar, aiming to move one step closer to a welterweight title shot. Ian Machado Gary remains fully focused on defeating Belal Muhammad, determined to prove he's the best welterweight in the world. He says it makes no difference whether the title is held by Jack Della Maddalena or Islam Makhachev, as he plans to face both eventually. Confident in his rise, Garian says that nothing can stop him from becoming champion and fulfilling his claim as the future of the division.
I'm going to finish Belal Muhammad. That's my goal. That is my single one focus of this fight, is I want to go out there and leave it unquestionable that I am the single greatest welterweight walk on the planet, because they're going to be able to compare us over the last 7 days, right? From November 22nd to November 16th. They're going to be able to compare us all. I want everyone to say that I look the best. And whoever wins that belt, Jack or Islam, I don't mind. I really don't have any preference. I'm going to fight both of them eventually, I believe, because I believe both of them are going to be up and around the top of the division for a long time. I am going to fight them wherever, whenever, and I will punch a hole in their head, because there is nobody in this planet stopping me from getting that belt wrapped down my waist. We are this close, Ariel, to succeeding in that takeover part 2. I told the entire UFC fan base on the mic, I'm the future, I am inevitable, and I'm this close to prove it.
Oh, man.
Ian Machado Gary praises Belal Muhammad's resume, noting his knockout of Sean Brady and dominant performance against Leon Edwards. He says defeating Muhammad would leave no doubt about his title shot credentials, and adds that if he finishes a former champion and current #1 contender faster than Jack Della Maddalena did, it will prove beyond question that he deserves the next world title opportunity.
So from my point of view, I sought after a fight with Belal first, because as I said, Belal has knocked out #2 in Sean Brady, and he has smashed #3 in Leon Edwards. So when you smoke Belal, it's obvious what comes next. Now, if I go out there and do that to Sean Brady, someone can have that argument, oh, but you haven't beat this guy, and someone else, and I didn't want any of that. So for me, it actually works out better, Ariel. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Have you been told, though, you beat Belal, you're next?
When you knock out #1 in the world, there is nothing else. When you knock out a former champion and who's #1 in the world right now, and you smash him in less rounds than JDM could, then that's all that matters to me. I know I'm getting a world title fight after this.
Ian Machado Gary also reveals that he was originally set to fight Sean Brady at UFC Vancouver, with both fighters agreeing to the matchup before it fell through. He says he only realized the fight was off when he noticed Renier de Ridder versus Fluffy Hernandez had been announced as the main event instead.
I saw your video on your Instagram right after the news came out, and you said you wanted it to be a #1 contender fight, and once they couldn't guarantee that, you changed direction. Is that accurate?
No, I wanted to be publicly announced that it was a #1 contender fight. If you're, look, me and Sean Brady, you said it yourself at the start of the show, that was the fight to make, and the winner of that goes for the world title. I don't disagree with you at all. I think that makes a lot of sense. However, there was a guy, I said to the UFC, there was like, when you've got someone, personally, I wanted no excuses. I wanted no one to be able to jump the ladder because of any excuses.
And that's a wrap for today's video. What are your thoughts on this matchup? Share your predictions in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel.